A narrow path at the base of Fuji, moss swallowing footsteps, bright tape fluttering from a branch like a whisper that says, "Don't go deeper." Wind hushes. The forest seems to hold its breath. Greetings, seekers of the strange. Welcome to Beyond Bizarre. I'm your host, taking you past normal, beyond weird, into the absolutely mind-blowing. Today we enter Aokigahara, the Sea of Trees, better known by a name that chills the spine, Japan's suicide forest. We'll separate myth from truth, why this beautiful woodland became infamous, what really disorients visitors inside, how folklore and media magnified the mystery, and the one lesson the forest refuses to let us ignore. At first glance, Aokigahara is simply stunning. A living carpet of emerald moss sprawled over ancient black lava, born from Fuji's eruptions in 864 CE. Trunks rise like pillars. Sound is swallowed. Step after step, the world goes quiet. No distant road, barely any bird song, just the heartbeat of your own breathing. And yet, this silence has gathered legends. Yurei, restless spirits in white, tales of ancient practices where the old were abandoned on mountainsides, modern headlines that turned a tranquil national forest into a symbol of despair. Here's the first truth. Aokigahara is not a cursed dead zone. It's a public forest on Fuji's northwest flank, dotted with caves, trails, and wayfinding posts. Hikers come for lava tubes and ice caverns. Families picnic under the canopy. School groups learn geology on field trips. The forest spans 30 square kilometers of some of Japan's most pristine wilderness. But the forest's reputation, amplified by novels, media coverage, and sensational stories, drew people in search of an ending. Authorities responded with signs near trailheads, reminders that your life has value, phone numbers for help, patrols by rangers and local volunteers who know the paths like veins. In recent years, officials stopped publishing annual counts to avoid copycat coverage. The message is simple, firm, human. Turn back, reach out, choose life. So why does this place feel so otherworldly? Start with the ground beneath your boots. You're walking on porous, jagged lava. It drinks sound. Thick moss smothers crunch and echo. Trees grow tight and tall, weaving a canopy that flattens daylight into a dim green noon. Trails twist along uneven ridges. Side paths vanish behind curtains of branches. Distances compress. Even experienced hikers can feel the forest tilt, like a house of mirrors made of bark and basalt. Compasses? Despite the myths, they generally work, unless you press the needle against iron-rich rock. The basalt lava contains magnetite, which can affect compass needles when held directly against the volcanic stone. But at normal height, your compass points true north. The real trickster here isn't magnetism, it's sensory deprivation. The hush, the sameness, the endless green that makes your brain lose track of direction and time. One more unsettling detail: ribbons and tape, sometimes left by hikers to mark a route back. To fresh eyes, they look ominous, adding to the forest's uneasy story. Signals meant for safety, retold as omens. But the deepest mystery isn't geological, it's human. Why this forest? Why any place? In Japan, conversations around suicide carry centuries of complicated cultural context. Concepts of honor, responsibility, private endurance, woven into modern realities where mental health challenges, isolation, and societal pressure still collide. Add a landscape steeped in ghost stories, and a media ecosystem where dramatic coverage can trigger copycat behavior, the Werther effect. And you get a feedback loop. Every sensational headline writes the next. The forest's association with death has deep roots. For over 1,000 years, ascetic Buddhist monks retreated to sacred forests around Mount Fuji for extreme meditation practices. Some traditions spoke of monks who would meditate for 1,000 days on nothing but leaves and bark, eventually achieving sokushinbutsu, a form of self-mummification. While these practices were spiritual rather than desperate, they created an ancient connection between the forest and death that folklore preserved. Modern associations began in the 1960s, partly influenced by novels like Seicho Matsumoto's Tower of Waves, which featured the forest as a setting for suicide. Media coverage amplified the connection, creating what researchers call a suicide cluster. When one location becomes associated with self-harm, it can attract others struggling with similar thoughts. Authorities, residents, and activists have spent years trying to break that loop, redirecting the story away from spectacle and toward support. Volunteers gently patrol, talk, listen. Some leave paper cranes along trailheads, small, bright vows that hope can be folded back into a life. The forest has security cameras now, increased patrols, and signs offering phone numbers for crisis support. The goal is intervention, not deterrence, catching people at their most vulnerable moment and offering help. Here's the heart-stopping reveal. Aokigahara isn't haunted because of what lives in the trees. It's haunted by the stories we carry into it. When society whispers that this is where the hurting go, it carves a path as clearly as any trail marker. And yet, the forest offers a different path too. Rangers, locals, and hikers become that one stranger who says, "Are you okay?" A single human voice can rewire a day, interrupt a spiral, give someone enough light to step back out. The most powerful force in this forest isn't despair, it's a hand reaching through the hush. The compass chaos myth is overstated. The lava can affect a needle when placed directly against the rock, but on the trail, your compass works. Getting lost happens more from the forest's dense uniformity and sound-absorbing qualities than from magnetism. The Japan Ground Self-Defense Force has conducted navigation training here since 1956. Hardly the mark of a place where compasses fail. So, what is Aokigahara really? A breathtaking ecosystem grown from fire, a mirror where folklore, fear, and media once amplified each other, and a place where compassion beats legend, one conversation at a time. If you ever walk its paths, remember, it's not a destination for despair, it's a forest. And forests are for finding your way back out. Important note, if you're struggling or know someone who is, you're not alone. In the US, call or text 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Wherever you live, search Find a Helpline to reach local, free, confidential support. Reaching out is strong, and it works. And that's another journey. Beyond bizarre. If your mind is officially blown, smash that subscribe button because we're just getting started. Until next time, keep pushing beyond the ordinary.